Hey everyone, and welcome back. We are so excited to jump into another deep dive today.
Yeah.
This one is all about Start with Why by Simon Sinek.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
It was a book that's really made waves, changed the way a lot of people think about leadership and success.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that's so interesting is that everyone's heard the phrase, start with why.
Right?
But I think a lot of people haven't gone deeper than that. So that's what we're going to do today in this deep dive.
Yeah, we're going beyond the buzzwords and really trying to unpack, what makes it so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have you ever wondered, how companies like Apple just create these, legions of devoted fans?
Yeah.
Or how leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. inspired these massive movements?
It's crazy, right?
It's all about tapping into something much deeper.
Yeah, and what I think is really interesting about Sinek is that he doesn't just throw out motivational fluff. He
Right.
actually grounds his ideas in biology and real-world observation,
Yeah.
which I find really fascinating. So
Yeah.
instead of just being
Wow.
you got to start with why. It's like, no, there are reasons why this works.
Right.
And I think he flips the script on how we traditionally think about things.
Yeah.
Instead of leading with what you do or how you do it, he says, start with why.
Like completely flipping it on its head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about identifying that purpose, that belief,
Mhm.
the driving force behind everything you do.
Okay, so let's break down this idea of the golden circle.
Yeah,
We have the why, the how, and the what.
exactly.
I get that the why is the foundation,
Right.
right?
Yes.
It's like building a house, you got to start with a really solid base.
For sure.
But why does starting with why create such a strong connection with people?
Well, and it really goes back to how our brains are wired.
Okay.
So if you think about the limbic system, right,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like the emotional center of our brain,
The feeling part.
the feeling part, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually this part of the brain that drives a lot of our decision making.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so,
I would have thought it was like the logical part.
right.
Yeah.
So we often feel something first,
Okay.
and then our rational brain kicks in to justify it.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, so Sinek argues that connecting with people on that emotional level, right, by communicating your why, makes them way more receptive to your message.
Wow.
It taps into their deep-seated desires for belonging, for purpose, for inspiration.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah,
It makes you really wonder how much of our choices are even rational.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do we actually sit down and think, okay, what is the most logical
Yeah.
outcome of this decision? I
Exactly.
mean, we usually just go with our gut.
We just feel it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does this play out in the real world?
Okay.
You talk about these
Yeah, let's look at Apple.
yeah.
Right? They're not just selling gadgets, they're selling a belief in challenging the status quo and empowering individuals through technology.
Yeah.
Their why resonates with people who share those values.
Mm. And it's almost like people are drawn to these brands that reflect their own values back to them.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's not just about buying a product.
Right.
It's about buying into a belief system.
Yeah. So it's like beyond the product itself.
Yeah.
What about outside the business world, though?
Oh, yeah.
How does this apply in other places?
Well, think about Martin Luther King Jr.
Correct.
He didn't lead with policy details.
Right.
He led with a vision of equality and justice.
Powerful.
Yeah. And so his powerful why ignited a movement by tapping into people's deep yearning for a better world.
Okay, so we're seeing how this why really works
Mm-hmm.
for big companies, influential leaders.
Right.
But how can we, regular people, apply this to our own lives?
I think it's about understanding what truly drives you, right?
Mhm.
What are your core values? What impact do you want to make on the world?
Yeah.
Once you know your why, it can act as a guiding principle for your decisions, both big and small.
Like a compass.
Like a compass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can help you choose a career path that aligns with your values, prioritize tasks that contribute to your goals, even navigate challenging relationships.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. But isn't focusing solely on the why a bit risky?
Ooh.
What about the practical side of things and actually getting things done?
Right, and that's where the how and the what come in. So the golden circle isn't about neglecting those aspects.
Right.
It's about putting them in the right order.
Okay.
So once you've established your why, the how becomes your roadmap.
Mhm.
The actions you take to bring that vision to life, and what are the tangible results, the product, services, or outcomes you produce.
So it's all about alignment.
Exactly.
But holding on to that why over time it can't be easy.
Yeah.
What helps prevent people from losing sight of it?
Well, Sinek emphasizes three key principles:
Oh,
clarity, discipline, and consistency.
all right, I'm listening.
All right, so first, you need absolute clarity about your why. It needs to be something you can articulate clearly and passionately.
Right.
Then it takes discipline to stay true to your why in your actions and decisions, even when faced with pressure or temptation to stray.
You got to stick to your guns.
Yeah, and finally, consistency is key.
Mm-hmm.
You need to consistently deliver on your why in everything you do,
Oh,
building trust and credibility over time.
that makes me think of a company like Patagonia.
Oh, yeah.
Their commitment to environmentalism is like woven into everything they do,
Absolutely.
from their product design to their activism.
Yeah,
It's really clear what they stand for.
exactly. And when you embody those three principles as clarity, discipline, and consistency, your why becomes more than just a slogan. It
Yeah.
becomes a lived reality.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here,
Oh, yeah.
from brain science to Apple to Patagonia.
A lot.
What is the biggest takeaway you want our listener to walk away with today?
I think it's this understanding and communicating your why has the power to transform your work, your relationships, even your entire life.
Powerful stuff.
It's not just about achieving success.
Right.
It's about finding deeper meaning and fulfillment in everything you do.
So if you were to boil it all down
Yeah.
to like one question our listeners should be asking themselves right now, what would it be?
Simple, if you were to start with why,
Mhm.
what would it be? And how would that change your approach to your work, your relationships, your goals?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And that's a great place for us to wrap up.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Start With Why.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you found it as insightful as we did.
Yeah.
Now go out there
And find your why.
and find your why.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.